Alright, I've started the recording.
And in 3, 2, 1. Hello, everyone, and welcome back, Michelitos. Coco is here with Moon, and we are continuing Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright.
That's why I could never make an attempt on his life, through magic or otherwise.
Hold it!
You're claiming you had no reason to kill Sir Belduke. Yes, you can ask whomever you wish, and I'm sure they'll say the same.
That is so. It is widely known that Jean Greyer was devoted to serving Sir Belduke. It's difficult to imagine that she could brutally murder her respected master.
Indeed, I am of the same opinion. I have visited Sir Belduke on several occasions to inquire about this piece of evidence or that, and I must say I felt there was a strong bond of trust between him and Miss Greyero.
Do you still think you can come up with a motive?
Motive?
Jean Grey's motive for murder.
Look, man, I just fly by my seat, the seat of my pants during these things. I don't have a thought in my head.
Same.
Grail risked a lot to conjure up a small portal in the wall. Then she killed Belduke. But what motive did she have? I would leave it for now. We're not done interrogating. Right?
Yes.
Can't come up with any reason why Grail would want to kill Belduke. I'd better wait until I have some more information to go on.
I think we heard everything the witnesses had to tell us. We won't get any more out of them.
But I haven't gotten the blonde girl part.
More lore, Espella.
Spella, I gotta talk to the blonde girl.
Great Earl wouldn't kill Sir Belduke.
But he's dead, and when you think about it, about who could have killed him. Are you alright, Mr. Wright? Murder happened. Nothing's going to change that. But was murder really the culprit's primary objective? What are you thinking about, Mr. Wright? I think I may need to consider some other possibilities after all. Rather than try to get any more info, maybe I'll be better off changing my perspective.
Well, I've been thinking, maybe we've been making all the wrong assumptions.
What if Grey Earl's aim wasn't to get Belduke out of the picture?
Duke was a wonderful man. He's the one who recommended this line of work to me.
Hold it!
You mean you became a courier because of Sir Belduke?
Right? Was also what do you call it? An orphan. I'd been stealing bread or apples and such from stalls and shops to survive. I was known far and wide among the traders in the shopping area. I was famous, or rather infamous.
Was she stealing from Mrs. Eclair too?
And one day, Miss Grey Earl took me there. To Sir Belduke's residence, I mean. Sir Belduke helped me. He helped me to find a suitable job.
And so you became a courier.
Yes, see, I only had one real skill. I'm light-footed. At first I didn't take it seriously. The job, I mean. I didn't care about work. But then I realized it. That it's not so bad to be useful, you know? To other people. So I owe him a lot too, you see? Sir Belduke, I mean.
A heartwarming story. I think that Jess just wiped away a tear with the rim of his hood.
The more you hear about Sir Belduke, the more obvious it will become that no one had any real reason to want to kill him.
Sure does seem that way.
And he's the one who told me about it. The confidentiality obligation, I mean. I've never once broken it.
Hold it!
Confidentiality obligation is a rule held among couriers, is that right?
Yes! A courier must not disclose the contents of a letter, nor the names nor addresses of its sender and the recipient. But I'll tell you confidentially that I love gossiping. Bad-mouthing people especially.
Well, at least you're honest, honey.
So I wasn't confident I could keep it. The confidentiality obligation, I mean. I was tempted to talk about this and that.
They think that
Which
Belduke trusted her.
Who Leaf has eaten recently. Who Curse has cursed.
Curses people? That's news to me. Cursed at, perhaps.
And then Sir Belduke spoke to me. He told me this. Think about how you'd feel in that person's place. And that got me thinking. I really, really like to gossip. But when it comes to being gossiped about... people's messages are their secrets, and secrets must be kept.
Well, if you have to think about it that way, that's a better way to behave, at least. Indeed, no one would want their letters to be publicly known. She's certainly determined when it comes to confidentiality. Why she doesn't want to disclose the addressee of Belduke's letter. Not going to get it out of her.
I promised Sir Belduke, and I'm going to keep it no matter what. The promise, I mean. It's something I can pride myself on, right?
Yeah. End of the road for testimony.
Everyone knows that Miss Greyarrow respected Sir Belduke. And that's why it seems so inconceivable that he would be the killer.
She doesn't have any motive.
But that crime did take place. At this point, what we probably need to do... look at this case from a different angle. Change this perspective, so to speak. Pa-pa-pa-pa.
Pa-da-pa-pa-pa.
Yeah.
Pa-da-pa-da-pa.
Oh my god.
We just need to look at it from another angle. I wonder.
I feel we're getting close to the truth here. I just need to follow it through. That's the attorney's duty. The mouse wants to sneak on screen.
I'm sure you can do it, Mr. Wright.
Looks like an emoji sometimes. Coco, I'm a little lost.
Well, we do have, we can suggest another motive when we got prompted that other time.
Trying to remember how we got prompted. I think it was through Grey Earl.
The second for a Grey Earl.
Okay. Press.
Hold it!
There we go. suggests another motive. I understand. The defense will present evidence.
Evidence to indicate Jean Greyl's motive for murder.
No. Wait, what?
What's this about, Sir Blue Knight?
Sir Belduke's life was taken that day. That's a fact. However, was this actually the culprit's true objective?
Objection!
What? This is nonsense! Sir Belduke was murdered. What other possible reason could there be besides someone wanting him dead?
I'm fairly positive this piece of evidence will lead us to the culprit's real motive. Very well. Defense, present evidence to indicate Jean Greyl's motive for committing the crime. I would think it's the letter, but, like, out of anything here.
Yes.
Take that!
Miss Greyl had no reason for wanting to kill Sir Belduke. However, there was another incident that night which is related to this case. And I have an idea what it is. Or was.
Another incident.
I'm referring to this letter. Sir Belduke wrote a letter shortly before his death, yet all we have here are some blank sheets of parchment. Papa. Fascinating. Are you saying maybe a witch used some kind of ink-removing magic on that letter, Mr. Wright? No, the spell used by the witch was, of course, Godor. Let's go over the state of the crime scene one more time. As we know from Miss Mailer's testimony, the letter was in a letterbox next to the victim's head. Ah, yes, it's in the sketch as well. The letterbox is on the far side of the shelf. The point of note is the location of that letterbox.
Unbelievable.
As Inquisitor Barnum seems to have noticed, the letterbox is within reach of the small portal conjured by the witch, behind the painting on the wall. Oh, indeed it is. And, as Sir Belduke's butler, he would have known exactly where he keeps his letters. I look so fucking bored. Indeed, Master Belduke would always keep his letters in that letterbox before posting them.
You mentioned no such thing.
Well, I mean, you didn't ask. Miss Greyl, you created a portal with Godor, not with the intention of killing Sir Belduke. You were after this letter, weren't you? That's merely wild conjecture. I didn't even know about that letter at the time. You didn't? Now that's very strange. When Miss Mailer came by that night, Sir Belduke was busy writing that letter. And that's when you entered, carrying a bottle of tomato juice. There's no way you would have known that your master... no way you wouldn't have known that your master was writing a letter to someone. And you could have known even more than that. For instance, perhaps you knew what he was writing about. That's enough! I served Master Belduke as his butler. I would never have pryed into his private affairs. Whatever it was he wrote about in his final letter to the storyteller. It is of no concern of mine. Your Honor. Yes, defense. I'd like Miss Grey Earl's last statement to be added to her testimony. Any objections, Inquisitor Bonham?
No, my lord.
Very well. Witness, include what you just told us in your testimony. As you wish, my lord. About to dunk on you.
Hold it!
Let me get this straight. You didn't know anything about the victim's letter? That's right. I believe I have said as much already. Then, how did you know? How did you know it was addressed to the storyteller? Ah, indeed.
Why don't you answer his question, witness?
It's true, his letter is addressed to the storyteller. But when did you find out about it? I have spoken about the murder with many people over the past 3 months. Hold on, let me see who's... Okay, of course it's her. Everyone has been very kind to me. They have also told me all sorts of things. I must have heard about it from someone at some point. Well, that incident was certainly much talked about. Would you not agree, defense? No, I wouldn't. Does her testimony hold together? There's a contradiction. But am I allowed to say that when I didn't get to talk to the girl?
Go for it.
There is a huge contradiction in Miss Grey Earl's testimony. Huh?
You are becoming very predictable, Sir Blue Knight. If there's a contradiction, I hope you have the evidence to prove it.
Here's my chance. There's only one way to expose the contradiction, and I don't have it. Book will help.
I can't.
He's gonna yell at me. Yeah, present the evidence right now. The defense has no intention of presenting evidence.
What?
Proof that there is a contradiction not be found in the court record. Oh. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? The professor pointed it out to me in the previous witch trial. In this court, an attorney's arsenal isn't limited to the court record.
Each of the witnesses in this trial has given their own account of what occurred. Therefore, whenever one witness has testified, the other remaining witnesses have listened. Should one witness's testimony differ from another's testimony, I suppose that in itself can also be considered a contradiction, can it not?
Oh, thank God. Can't yell at me. Juxtaposing contradictory testimonies from different witnesses is the key. Miss Grey Earl? Your testimony contradicts another one we've heard in this court today.
Yep.
This one? Okay.
Objection!
Wow.
They moved his statue together.
Oh, children.
Oh my God. It was a single word that gave you away, Miss Grey Earl. What do you mean by that? The name of the recipient. There were only a few people who knew the intended recipient of that letter. 4 people, to be precise. Only 4 people? First was Sir Belduke, the author of the letter. Then there was Miss Mailer, who delivered it. And of course, the storyteller, its recipient, as well as one more person. The one who stole the letter using a portal spell and swapped it with the blank sheets of parchment. The witch. Sorry, you can't get your girlfriend out of this one.
Maybe I did. Maybe I spilled the beans. About the letter, I mean. Maybe I told the butler.
You did what?
Well, because you see, me and the butler are sort of friends. And it was about our dear Sir Belduke. I feel like I might have told her about it after all. See, if I did, that's how she knew. About the recipient, I mean.
Objection!
I understand that you are friends with Miss Grayerl and want to help her out. What was that?
Nothing.
But I've got a piece of advice, Miss Mailer. You shouldn't lie, even for a friend. Gosh, do you know that from experience, sir? Also, do not eat poisoned evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Especially not glass.
Ugh.
Huh?
God. Remember your testimony. You told us about the courier's duty to keep the details of letters confidential. And you have also testified that you have never broken that obligation, remember? Ah!
Objection!
Got her.
But hold on a minute. As the victim's butler, Jean Greyarrow might have had a chance to catch a glimpse of it. The envelopes.
Objection!
No, she didn't. When Miss Mailer came for the delivery, Sir Belduke was still writing that letter. In fact, he was in the middle of it. At that time, the letter had not been addressed yet. And the next morning, when the body was discovered, that letter was already in the letterbox. Keep in mind that Miss Grayerl would have had no opportunity to see it then, either.
Is that so? She went to report the crime without even setting foot in the study.
And then, Miss Mailer appeared and retrieved the letter. Needless to say, Miss Grayerl couldn't have learned the letter's recipient afterwards. Or maybe you have a good explanation, Miss Grayerl? I'd very much like to hear one. Can you please tell the court how you found out the recipient's name? Mr. Wright? Yes? Do you remember what I said when I was called to the witness stand? Yes? At the heart of alchemy lies the pursuit of rules and logic that govern nature. You have demonstrated the power of your own logic. Miss Grayerl? Are you saying... Yes, I confess. The abhorrent witch who used the spell Godor to swap the contents of that letter, and who took the life of Master Belduke. It was none other than I. Are we? What? This is killing me. I was an only child born to a poor family. I've been a witch since I was very little. When did I become aware of it? I don't remember. Although I was but a young child, I knew that being a witch was a crime. That's why I had my witch's scepter and wouldn't use magic at all. My father worked as a bricklayer. He toiled every day, but we hardly made ends meet. One winter day, we couldn't afford to pay the rent. We were going to lose the house. My mother was in tears, and my father was sitting with his head down, wordless.
I want money for Mummy and Daddy.
That day, I suddenly remembered about the witch's scepter that I had hidden.
The Godor spell.
I thought I'd try it just once, casting the spell. But at the time, I had no idea what an irreversible mistake that would be. She turned her parents to gold. Jesus. Even though no one told me, I knew from the very beginning what magic I was able to use. What should I turn into gold? I was thinking about it really hard, the little girl that I was. Something that wouldn't stand out, that could be taken for a work of art. And I decided. I chose a pretty leaf that had fallen into our garden. But it wasn't the right thing to do after all. I was terribly punished for using magic, even just the once. Punished? In what way were you punished? I placed the leaf down in the back garden and cast a spell, but then Margaret suddenly walked in front of me.
Margaret.
My closest childhood friend. Margaret, right before my eyes, she was turned into gold. Oh, dear me. I screamed and cried, but I knew I couldn't ask anyone for help. If anyone had seen it, they would have known it was the work of magic. And I knew Margaret wasn't coming back.
That's terrible.
Then, my mother and father's faces flashed before my eyes. We may have been very poor, but we were always happy together. Had I been captured as a witch, I feared my parents probably wouldn't be safe either. That thought tormented me more than anything, and so I made the decision. I decided to end my own life. My God. Oh my fucking God, kid. Jesus Christ. I threw myself into the river near the town. It was winter and the water was as cold as ice. I couldn't even move. It was painful. My consciousness started drifting away. The next thing I knew, I was in Master Belduke's residence. He risked his own life jumping into the freezing river to save me. I burst into tears and told him everything. I didn't want to go back home. I would only end up causing my parents grief. Master Belduke listened to me without interrupting, and then he told me this.
You can stay here, but from now on, you must live as a boy.
Master Belduke met with my parents and explained everything to them. They were very sad, but they agreed it would be best if I didn't return home.
Poor Miss Grey Earl. That must have been so awful for her.
Master bought the house for my parents, so they wouldn't have to worry about paying rent anymore. As for Margaret, turned into gold, he brought her to his residence. He knew that if anyone saw her, they would report an incident of witchcraft. Oh, okay. So it's the pig or goat that was in the basement? I don't remember which animal. Okay. I was like, oh god, the parents got turned to gold. This game's mean. And this Miss Margaret, is she still in that golden state? Yes, she is.
That's strange. We have received no reports of anyone by the name having gone missing.
Margaret is being kept in the basement under Master's study. The basement? Correct me if I'm wrong, but this Margaret, is she a... Yes, my dear friend, was a goat that we were keeping at our house.
Goat?
Hey, at least it's not a human child. Like, I feel sorry for the goat, but at least it's not a human child that someone is missing.
Yeah.
Until then, Master Belduke had mainly been researching medicine, but since the incident with Margaret, he became known as an alchemist. So that's when he became an alchemist. I was wondering why the goat was the only thing not covered in dust. That's how I started a new life as Master Belduke's butler. Sir Belduke would sometimes work as a physician, curing the townspeople of their illnesses. As his assistant, you have also shown commitment to helping the townspeople through your work. I forgot about being a witch and was able to live happily, at peace with everyone. I thought it could stay like that forever.
But those peaceful days came to an abrupt end. And tell us, what in the world was the cause?
Even I am not quite sure what led to this. However, it all started 3 months ago with that lightning strike. Master Belduke and I were on our way back home carrying specimens for experiments. An old bell tower appeared in the flames. Everyone who saw it was stupefied. But the expression on Master Belduke's face was unlike anything I'd seen before. What do you mean? His face went pale and twisted in sheer terror. He was shaking violently. It wasn't just astonishment at an unusual phenomenon. It seemed as if he was afraid of something more concrete.
Perhaps Sir Belduke saw something that others couldn't.
He canceled his experiments for that night and began writing a letter to someone. A letter? I found out about it when I brought him his bottle of tomato juice. He was writing feverishly as if he were possessed. I saw some things. A few words in that letter. Expose everything. Cannot keep this secret any longer. The truth about the witch. Master Belduke was going to confess that I was a witch. Everything went black in front of my eyes. I will never forget the feeling that overwhelmed me at that moment. Is that when you decided to commit the crime? What I did first was accidentally singe a part of the wall in my room. It was an excuse to repaint that section of the wall green.
Then you also painted the wall behind that painting in Sir Belduke's study.
And when that fateful night came, I used a syringe to inject a soporific through the cork and into the bottle of tomato juice. So many thoughts were running through my head as I wished Master a good night. I opened the portal behind him. He was right there in front of me, asleep. I reached for the letter in the letterbox, taking care not to wake him. And then I happened to notice the name on the envelope. Storyteller. When I read that name, the world all around me turned black once more. It's impossible to avoid what is written by the storyteller. It seemed as if I could hear the doors to all escape routes shutting closed. It was the sound of despair. I would like you to believe me, but the thought of taking Master Belduke's life never once occurred to me. I only planned to steal that letter and then disappear. But as I looked upon Master sleeping there in front of me, that moment I felt an evil presence awaken within me. Why did he save my life? And why did he betray me? Before I realized what I was doing, my hands were clutching his neck. He didn't move at all, so I kept on clenching his neck. That's it. That's the truth about what happened 3 months ago. This sucks.
Mm-hmm. There's just one thing I fail to understand.
Yes?
You said you wanted to run away once you had stolen the letter. Yet despite that, you continue to live in Sir Belduke's residence. And now here you stand. Why did you not run away?
My life had been thrown into disarray due to the absurdity of magic. I had learned all about alchemy, living at Master's residence. Alchemy is concerned with the logic that governs the world. I wanted to believe that there truly was such a thing. So I stayed in that place, hoping to one day see the irrational nature of magic overcome by the power of reason. Magic being overcome by reason. That night, I swapped the letter with blank sheets of parchment and waited for the sun to rise. I resolved to wait for the day when my true identity could be exposed through reason and logic. Master's death remained a mystery for 3 months, and people started to lose interest. And then you appeared, Mr. Wright. On the day you visited the residence, I was listening to your conversation from the other room. Has the time finally come for me? My heart was racing with anticipation. Then, a few minutes after everyone entered that room, an unbelievable incident took place. That incident. A witch appeared in Master's study.
What?
I wanted to get a look at the witch, so I created a portal in the wall behind the painting. Precisely at that moment, Goldor. The witch used one of the very spells that I can use too. When I heard those words, a single thought flashed through my mind. This was my chance. I could dispose of my witch's scepter. I knew at the time what kind of witch the Inquisition would be looking for. A witch that can use Familia and Goldor. It occurred to me that I only needed to change one of the magic gems. I had previously found that the Familia gem was purple. I realized that if I swapped the Goldor magic gem for my amethyst, I could pin the blame for my crime on that other witch. So you changed one of the gems and threw the witch's scepter into that room, is that correct? Exactly.
Objection!
Wait a minute, Jean Grey. This statement of yours. Is highly problematic.
He's gonna call out post you right now.
No!
How so, Inquisitor Barnum? Yes, you are right. Can someone explain to me what this is about? I am a witch, indeed. A sinful creature that killed the one person to whom she owed her life. However, regarding the gentleman standing next to you, Mr. Wright, he may have fallen victim to a witch, but that witch was not me. Ah. Oh. Wait, what? No one's making noise, sir. What in the... What is the meaning of this?
Greyer admits killing Sir Belduke, but not to turning Sir Layton into gold. That is the gist of it, my lord.
But lying about it is meaningless. Lying?
Just being a witch is a crime in itself. And the punishment for that crime is the same, regardless of whether she took one person's life or two. Or none.
Yeah.
That's why there's no point in lying about it. I'm sure that's what the judge is thinking.
Grey Earl is still claiming she never laid a finger on the professor. But if there's no point in lying, does that mean she must be telling us the truth? Yeah, I think so.
So, in that case, who's responsible for what happened to the professor? If it wasn't her, then who was it?
It was your mom, Luke. She's sick of Layton's shit, so she turned him to gold. Oh god. No. No, I don't want you to talk at all. Mind if I say something?
Take a hint, witness. Does it feel like this is the right moment for you to talk?
This is a stupid question for a stupid man, dude. Come on. Yeah, well, that's kind of why I was just staying quiet until now. But I either say it now or never. Don't simply fall silent. After saying that, it only makes it weigh on my mind more. Whatever did you want to say? Oi, Bluey. Yeah? I need to make sure about something. My head's not what it used to be, you know. Yes? Alchemist's butler, Lady Butler. She slipped sleep medicine into his drink. That's correct. She laced his tomato juice with it. And then she strangled the alchemist afterward. Yes, Sir Belduke was unconscious from the sleep medicine, so he didn't resist.
And that explains why we found no signs of a struggle at the crime scene.
Yeah, about that. I let it slip earlier that I did the crime scene, right? I told you that, I had a few sips of that juice.
And the sleep medicine mixed inside made you sleep like a log. Yes, we remember.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's just between us, okay? You see, when I appropriated that juice, the juice bottle was, well, still unopened. It was unopened? Me throat was parched and I wasn't thinking straight. That brand new bottle was just there, waiting for me, with a corkscrew conveniently laid out next to it. Couldn't just let that go to waste. I swiftly pulled the cork and got to drinking.
What?
So, in the case you don't get what I'm getting at, the alchemist didn't have a single drop of the juice with the sleep medicine. Huh? What? What the fuck's happening? What? Witness, you went to the trouble of opening a bottle found in a crime scene just to drink its suspicious content? This reminds me of that Vine where it's like, "Detective, what are you doing?" And he's pulling ice cream out of the freezer and he goes, "What, is this the murder weapon? Get off my dick!" That's what I've been telling you. I was dying of thirst. That doesn't justify what you've done.
Objection!
Barnum's so sick of this.
He wants to... he wants to take that man out so badly.
Yeah.
The Inquisition shall deal with this witness after the trial.
You're
Personally,
going to jail.
he will find out what it means to be dying of thirst in more literal meaning.
Huh.
However, let us not waste any more time with him now. The witch has confessed to her crimes. There is no need to investigate Sir Belduke's death any further.
Indeed, you are right, Inquisitor. Her role in the Sir Layton incident is not entirely clear. But a person who kills her protector, to whom she owes her very life, can be nothing other than a witch. This sucks. I hate this. The court has sufficient grounds to sentence her as such. Are you guys just gonna cram her up there in with fucking Maya? Like, just shove them in together? Belduke didn't drink the juice that night. And if that's true, there's one thing here that doesn't add up.
Mr. Wright, I have to say, there's something about this that's bothering me. I'm sure there's a contradiction lurking in that man's testimony.
Think so, Luke?
I know so. This is all bullshit.
Can I really turn a blind eye to that? No! Investigate the contradiction! Mister, you're saying you opened the tomato juice bottle. But that claim contradicts a certain piece of evidence.
What?
Defense, I'd like a word with you. Yes, Your Honor? At this point, your client's innocence has already been established. Therefore, whether there is a contradiction in this man's testimony or not should no longer be of any of your concern. Also, this doesn't actually prove Maya's innocent. Like, Layton.
I mean, the thing is that they only really care about who the witch is. And since it's now been proving that Grey Earl is a witch,
Oh, I see. They're just gonna take her. No questions asked. That may be so, Your Honor, but even though I'm here to defend the accused, the true duty of any attorney is to uncover the truth behind what happened. Barnum's like, no, it's not. It's to kill witches. My job's not done until there are no more contradictions left. Are you sure about that?
Very well. Sir Blue Knight, let us hear about this contradiction you have discovered.
The bottle was first opened by that guy, meaning Belduke didn't drink any of it. that means there's one piece of evidence that should be very difficult to explain. Yeah, how he was strangled to death. I would like to hear about this contradiction too. The defense shall present evidence. Where is the contradiction in this witness having been the one who opened the tomato juice bottle?
Crime scene sketches.
This one, right?
Yes.
Would it? Do I have to?
I believe it would be the trickle of liquid there.
Oh, they're gonna probably ask me to look for it though when I present it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just realized you can't do that from there. I wish they would let you do it from there. The contradiction can be seen in one of the sketches of the crime scene. In one of the sketches. Please take a look at Sir Belduke's mouth. Oh, thank God, I don't even have to do it. We can see a line of red liquid trickling down from his mouth. Yes, well, we've already established that that was tomato juice. Oh. Exactly, Your Honor. Sir Belduke didn't drink any of the tomato juice that night.
Objection!
Which means there's only one other possibility. That red line is, as we thought first, blood. Sir Belduke must have tried to fight back the assailant and bit his tongue in doing so.
Objection!
Unfortunately, that would only bring us back to the problem we encountered earlier.
Earlier?
Yeah, there's no fucking signs of a struggle. If the victim had put up a fight, then there should have been traces of a struggle at the crime scene, and yet no such traces were found. That's what made you assume the witch must have used Familia.
Yes, that is so.
As I explained before, Master Belduke didn't struggle at all at the time. But when I think about it now, in light of new information, it was very unnatural. The victim didn't drink the soporific, yet didn't struggle. But what does this mean? If not tomato juice, nor blood brought about through a struggle with the murderer, then what else could it be? Since it's not tomato juice, we have to assume it's blood after all. Yeah, right, that's gotta be it.
Yells loudly at the bottle that this motherfucker's holding in his hand.
The thing, it's an unending supply.
Right? I want that. Give me.
No, not poison cocoa, no! Unending soup, yes. Unending poison, no.
We have ruled out the possibility that the victim bit his tongue while struggling with the attacker.
Indeed. Then there's got to be a different reason for that blood being there. He must have suffered internal bleeding that was somehow connected to his death. But what could have caused it? Your Honor, if I may ask one question. A question? To whom? To you. If I just clarify this one suspicion, I may be able to explain the blood shown in the sketch. That's why I need to question one person in particular.
Hmm.
Is it a mirror? I hope it's a mirror.
Yep.
Mister, can I ask you something? Yeah? Don't give me that scary look, Bluey. I know nothing. Nothing at all. I've got nothing to tell.
Amir's as innocent as a little lamb, but he's confidence more than a sham.
He'd be better off without that bard. You drank the tomato juice that was at the crime scene, right? Don't keep asking me about that over and over again. So what if I did? Then I have another question for you. Did anything else disappear from the crime scene that day, since you've got such sticky fingers?
Nah. Oh my god, I didn't.
Nah, I didn't notice nothing.
Witness, just what have you done this time? You look like a dog caught making a mess on the carpet.
What? You look at me like that. I don't know anything gone missing. I'm innocent. Please believe me.
Truth could drown in his swimming eyes. Some tell lies well.
You got cut off in the middle of that one. It just made it
Aw.
funnier. Sometimes tell lies well, and then it just stopped. It was like, yep. Looks like my gut feeling was right. He took something from the crime scene. It might even be in his hand right now. Something that could be directly connected to that red liquid around Belle Duke's mouth. What on earth did that man steal from the crime scene? A certain item disappeared from the crime scene that day. And at this very moment, it's highly likely that item is right in front of our very eyes.
What? It's here.
Isn't that right, mister? Is it? I've no idea. Defender, I order you to show us what this item is. The item that the witness took from the crime scene. Oh, you motherfucker.
Got
It's this bottle! Clearly marked with poison. The bottle? Miss Grey Earl, I'd like you to clarify something for me. What would that be, Mr. Wright? Sir Belduke was working on creating certain medicines. He had various dangerous substances in his possession as well. How were they stored? Master kept them in a locked medicine cabinet. The bottles were labeled so that it was clear that they were dangerous. They have all been confiscated. As for those labels, did they resemble the label on that guy's bottle? Ah! Mister! What are you doing with a product of Master's research? It's not what you think. I didn't have any evil intentions or nothing. That bottle belonged to Master, and it was used to store strong poison. Poison strong enough to kill. But poison?
What? Drink! Drink more!
The red liquid trickling down Sir Belduke's mouth was definitely blood. Now, as for what caused him to bleed like that from his mouth, it was the deadly poison from the bottle this guy stole from the crime scene.
This is outrageous!
What? I just want to know how he's not dead yet. Whoa. Do you expect me to just keep quiet? It was poison? Poison? Am I going to die?
Objection!
Yes.
Just wait and see. Time will tell.
Oh
Please, oh please, oh please! Lady Luck!
no. Yeah, I guess.
More importantly, I want to know why you have that bottle.
Huh? Well, that's, remember how I told you I drank the alchemist's tomato juice? Indeed, it's not something easy to forget, especially having heard it several times. Well, that was when I saw it on the floor. This bottle right here. was totally empty. And I thought, that's such a fancy looking bottle and all. I'm a bit of a skull fancier. They have this air of danger about them, right? Okay, so there's nothing left in the bottle. Put wine in it. Fine. You're not dead. They certainly do. Oh, since it was there and I was there too, I felt we were kind of meant for each other. Cheers! I thought this bottle's so classy I could die for it. Oh my god. Had any poison been left in the bottle, you would have died instantly. But if it was empty, it was probably harmless. Oh, hear that? I'm gonna live. Good thing I rinsed it well before use. I can't believe you had the impulse control enough to rinse it before use. But if the victim was killed by poison, that raises a new question, of course. Who? Oh. Oops.
Who could have poisoned him?
I think he did it to himself, guys. Considering all the evidence and the testimonies we've heard today, the answer is so close I can taste it. Sir Belduke was poisoned.
Poison.
Sir Belduke was poisoned by himself. It would be funny to say Emir, but I don't want to. It was, of course, Sir Belduke himself. Sir Belduke himself! Sir Belduke took that poison of his own will. His death was suicide. Which means she didn't kill anybody, but she's still a witch, so she's still gonna burn.
Mm-hmm. That is preposterous! A suicide! Inconceivable!
Objection!
Think about it, Inquisitor. That would explain the most unnatural aspect of his death. The most unnatural aspect. Miss Guerrero, when you were strangling Sir Belduke, he put up no fight whatsoever, is that correct? Yes, it is. Until today, I was convinced it was due to sleep medicine. It wasn't, because he didn't take any. The truth is, when you gripped his throat, Sir Belduke, was already dead. He had poisoned himself. But would the poison have caused him to bleed from his mouth?
I personally know of no poison that works instantly and causes such symptoms.
Oh, you don't? I can't just tell them that it happens on TV all the time. There are certain plants in this area that contain a highly poisonous substance. In the course of his research, Master Belduke found a way to extract that poison. What am I hearing? Is there really such a dangerous plant in Labyrinthia? Yes, because the storyteller made it up. This poison is very bitter to taste, so it would be impossible to secretly slip it into someone's food or drink. And it would cause internal damage. It is a very powerful poison. Drinking it would induce a most painful death.
And to think Sir Belduke could.
But did Sir Belduke really choose such an agonizing death for himself? It doesn't seem like he suffered that much. I would like to know that too. Miss Guerrero. You mean to say Master killed himself after exposing me as a witch? I cannot believe it. He just wouldn't commit suicide. Unless he had a suicide pact with somebody.
Indeed. We cannot take such a theory at face value. Had he committed suicide, I dare say he would have left a suicide note.
I can't say why Sir Belduke committed suicide, but I think there's a piece of evidence that can confirm his suicide was a possibility.
There is a piece of evidence like that.
If you have such evidence, you ought to present it to the court immediately. Present the evidence indicating that Sir Belduc's death could have been a suicide. The letter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Take that!
That's Sir Belduc's letter. Let's see, it was addressed to the storyteller, wasn't it? This is the last letter written by Sir Belduc. Now, if his death was a suicide, then this letter may well be his suicide note.
Objection!
What we have here is nothing more than blank sheets of parchment. And whether or not there was a suicide note is something we can only speculate about.
Turn them over.
Oh shit!
That's right. But there is one person who knows whether this letter was really a suicide note.
You mean the person who swapped its content? In other words, you, Jean Grey.
Witness, you stole Sir Belduc's letter on the night of the crime. Tell us, what was written in it? I don't know. What? You don't know? I did steal the letter, yes. But I don't know what its contents were.
You mean you have not read it?
I couldn't bring myself to read it. It seemed that if I did, everything that had happened since Master Belduc saved my life would be ruined in an instant. I've taken it out and held it in my hands many times, but no matter what, I just couldn't.
Miss Grey.
Can you tell us where the letter is now? I have it here. Oh! You're carrying it around with you? If you were searched, you would have been done for. That night, having killed Master Belduc, I decided to stay in his residence. I knew my identity would be revealed sooner or later, and I was ready for it. So, until that time, I decided to always keep the letter with me. My lord. Yes, witness. If you don't mind, could you please read it aloud? Now that I'm here in this place of judgment, I think I'm finally ready to hear what Master wrote. Humph.
Hold it!
No, I want to read it.
Miss
It's
Grey,
me, Feeny Wright. Miss Grey Earl.
I think you should be the one to read it.
Oh god, voice acting.
Me?
Sir Belduc wrote this letter to the storyteller as he was preparing to die. I think it's only right his last words should be read by you.
Thanks for the trauma, Phoenix.
Right?
Yes, you're right. I see.
I do notice, though, that they are handling the suicide stuff better than they did in the other game.
I understand. Please allow me to read the letter aloud.
Or have I made a grave error saying that before the letter is read?
My dear friend, I hope you will be able to forgive me for leaving this world of my own will. I have finally made this decision, having seen that accursed bell tower
appear in the flames on that dreadful night. That lightning was a sign that we have angered the gods.
Oh my god, that's Ariashe's voice from Final Fantasy XIV.
What I have done cannot be forgiven. I can never escape from it. For the past few days, I have been thinking that it might be best to simply expose everything. This town's secret, the truth about the witch. Of course, I understand that secrets need to be kept. However, I have grown very tired I'm afraid I cannot keep the secret any longer. I have only two concerns. The first is my daughter. It pains me to be leaving her alone in this world, although she probably doesn't think of me as her father.
A daughter? I was not aware that Sir Belduke had a daughter.
Mr. Belduke seemed to know a lot about this town. This town's secret, and the truth about the witch.
Truth about the witch? Somehow I don't think he was talking about Miss Grey Earl.
Oh. The second matter, weighing heavily on my mind, is that Jean will be left on her own.
Seeing her growing up, so strong and righteous, in defiance of her fate, had given me hope. A short while ago, she brought me my usual, and what will be my last, drink. There are so many things I wanted to tell her, but I could only manage a thank you. She is a very sharp child. Had I said any more, she would have caught on. You could call me a selfish man, but I didn't wish my last memory of her to be a sad one.
Master Belduke. If the fate handed to her by this town has made her life an ordeal until now, I hope from the bottom of my heart that a wonderful story awaits her next. I intend to leave my residence to her, and I would like you to look out for her.
Alas, it is time for me to put my pen down, my dear friend. What I truly wish to express to you is too complicated for words. I hope one day you will understand, but for now I bid you farewell. The time has come for me to go.
This letter, it wasn't a denunciation of me being a witch.
Master Belduke cared about you until the very end.
Yes, how could I have forgotten? I'm sure I knew it all along. So why did I? How could I have done that to him?
Miss Grey Earl. My lord.
What is it, Inquisitor Barnum?
I think it is about time for the guilty verdict.
Guilty?
The Inquisition withdraws the charges against Maya Fey. It charges Jean Grey Earl with being a witch. All the evidence corroborates this accusation, and she even admits her guilt. Hence, the Inquisition asks that the witch be found guilty and punished immediately.
Objection!
Not so fast, Inquisitor Barnum.
What do you want now, Sir Blue Knight?
Admittedly, Miss Grey Earl did attempt to strangle Sir Belduke, but he had consumed a deadly poison and was already dead at the time. Therefore, she's not guilty of murder. And one more thing. It also wasn't Miss Grey Earl who turned Professor Layton into gold. There was another witch present at the crime scene. The defendant, Maya, saw her too. To put it simply, Miss Grey Earl didn't kill anyone. You're missing the point, Feeny.
Yeah, she didn't kill anyone, and yet you still want to burn her?
Maya!
Do you even know how it feels to be put in this cage? It's like everyone's against you, and it's super frightening. I'm not a witch. But I've been thrown into this cage and almost sentenced for something I didn't do. And now you're about to do the same to another person? That's just not right!
Is that all you have to say?
Huh?
The one who's in the wrong is not me, but you, Sir Blue Knight. Whether the witch committed a crime or not is completely irrelevant. This is the witch's court. All witches must be punished by fire.
But that's crazy!
Why? Why, Barnum? Lucas just so angry face. Angry emoji. I'm angry emoji. Inquisitor Barnum is absolutely right. Being a witch is a crime. You understand that, don't you, Miss Grey Earl? Yes. Very well, then. The court is ready to issue the final verdict.
Judge doesn't look happy.
He doesn't want to do it either. Maya Fey is found innocent, and in her place, Jean Grey Earl is found guilty of being a witch and shall be cast into the fire.
No! You can't! Hold it! Please, hold the verdict!
See, I forgot that she had a British accent at all, so, like, I was like, the male girl? She's talking?
Espella.
What is it now, Espella Cantabella?
There is nothing else we can do. This is the course of things, and you should know it well.
Indeed, all witches shall be cast into the flames. That is the law of this town. A law that was written by your very own father. And furthermore, a law that has always been obeyed in the town of Labyrinthia.
A town like this should never exist in the first place.
What? Such insolence!
That's heresy! She's criticizing the storyteller's story! Even the storyteller's daughter has no right to criticize the story!
Trials in which innocent people are sentenced to death by fire. I shall make sure this is the last one.
What do you mean, Espella?
Since you're all so keen on the rules created by the storyteller, you should know exactly what I mean. The stipulation for ending the witch trials. Once the Great Witch Bezella is burned, the witch trials will end. At present, I am under suspicion. You know very well why that is, don't you?
You? Well, you don't mean that you're,
I am guilty. I am the Great Witch Bezella.
What?
Check
Now,
Swatch.
cast me into the flames and let
We're
me
almost there,
swell
don't worry.
free.
No, I'm checking Watch because it's like, what diversion is about to hit now? It's about time Amir said something.
This shall be the last of the witch trials. No one else need be burned hereafter.
Espella, just what are you saying? I can't let you do that.
Please, Mr. Wright, let me do as I wish.
I just know Amir's gonna fucking interject any minute now.
Sorry, this is a problem concerning the people of Labyrinthia. No! Please don't do it! There must be another way! You don't need to do this!
Stop having a happy face on Luke, that was scary.
It's all right. Luke, Maya, Mr. Wright, and Mr. Layton. I truly appreciate all you have done for me.
This can't be happening.
Miss Cantabella, your confession will have very serious, or rather, fatal consequences for you. May we assume that you fully understand those consequences and are willing to accept them?
I am Espella Cantabella, the storyteller's daughter. But I also have another name. I am the Great Witch Bazella. I have lived hidden in the dark pages of my father's story, deceiving all of you. Many lives have been sacrificed because of me. But that shall end today.
Court attendants, seize that woman! She is the Great Witch, Bazella.
Oh shit, animation.
Espella. Espella, this just isn't right. Let's go. Nick, give me a hand. Jump over there. But hurry.
They're getting away!
Are you kidding me?
Help me, Nick! Espella! Quick, in here!
What? You fucking serious, game?
Stop! You've got to stop!
You fucking killed Maya? Game? Ah! No! No! Coco, what the fuck?
Yep. When
Coco,
this
what the fuck?
happened, I literally, when this came up, I screamed out loud, I don't want your fucking picarats! I was so upset. I mean, like, ugh.
The fucking turnaround of, oh, let's just, you know. Ah! Yes, I want to save. What the fuck? With that, the
Big-
extra long
big
episode
also-
comes to an end.
Yep.
Ah!
They held nothing back with the crossover. They were like, yeah, let's just
Kill
fuck
Maya.
everyone up.
Kill Maya. Kill Professor Layton. Kill your mom. Kill your dad. Kill your dog. Ugh.
Well, sorry for that particularly traumatic episode, folks. Go take care of yourself.
Hope you have a good rest of your whatever the fuck.
Yeah, take care of yourselves and one another.
Maya lives on in fanfiction. And also the other games, because how could they kill her off in a side game? Please don't kill her off in a side game. Please don't kill Professor Layton. Bye-bye. Coco, are you okay?
No.